Hello, it's Who Time, and today we're talking Doctor Who action figure news, mainly around the upcoming B&M sets this year. So far in 2025, we've been treated to 2 online exclusive sets available on the character website. First, back in March, we got the Vortex edition 3rd Doctor set with an Electroplated 3rd Doctor Sonic 3rd Doctor action figure based on his look in the Demons with a new head sculpt and higher quality paint apps, plus a couple of accessories, the Kronos crystal from the Time Monster and a giant maggot from the Green Death. There were 3 alternate sculpts for the maggots, so you'd have to buy multiple sets to get all the versions. Personally, I bought 2 of these sets and created some custom 3rd Doctor figures for my collection. The new head sculpt screamed Season 7 to me, so I couldn't leave it on the demon's body. Next, in June, we were surprised to find a Meep and a jacketless 14th Doctor set. The new 14th Doc figure is a massive improvement over the previous version with better paint apps. The Meep comes with a load of hand options and an alternate villainous head. A fantastic set. I'm tempted to buy a second one. 14 has joined my collection on the shelves, whilst the Meep sits on my desk looking cute. Whilst not an official release, our duo has worked with Star One Props to create a 3D printable render of the Meep escape pod. The file is free for personal use via Star One Props. Alternatively, they can print you the unassembled kit, and they also have a limited number of completed ones on sale. Further details are in the description of this video. Based on what our duo, head of the figure line, has said, and from emails from Evolution PR, the PR company for character, we're getting 5 online exclusive sets this year.
And then we do our own sort of character options exclusive proposal, which I'm working on at the moment. So at the moment we're running the numbers on the next, say, 4-5 sets for next year.
So at this point, we still have 3 more to look forward to. Any guesses on what they'll be? I've heard some rumblings, but nothing's confirmed with pictorial evidence. I think based on the last release of the Meep and 14th Doctor, it would make sense to release that Wrath Warrior figure that was on display back in springtime 2024 at Toy Fair. Surely this has to be one of the sets. You could even put 2 in the pack for army building with slight paint app differences, or if you're feeling generous, perhaps with 2 different head sculpts, or accessory pieces like wings, an alternate arm, or a blast effect. Instead, more akin to the Meep set, you can have 1 in the pack with the 14th Doctor in a wig. It would be nice to get a better painted release of that coated 14th Doctor. Or maybe even a 60th anniversary Donna Noble would go nicely with it. As for the other 2 sets, this is a bit trickier to guess. Perhaps following on from the first exclusive this year of the 3rd Doctor set, it's possible that more Vortex edition sets for different Doctors are on the way. Based on what I've heard on the optional extras series as part of the Power of 3 podcast, I'll put the links in the video description. Of course, our duo would be interested in creating a 2nd Doctor in his stovepipe hat from Power of the Daleks, a duffel coat 7th Doctor from The Curse of Fenric, and a hatted 4th Doctor from Season 18. He'd also be interested in redoing Capaldi, since he was missing his waistcoat on that original release, and the boots were a tad big. After all, he expressed positive signals towards a jacketless 14th Doctor figure on said podcast, and that did come to fruition. I believe there's a good chance that one of the 5 exclusives will be another Vortex edition Doctor set, since on the Power of 3 podcast, our duo mentions that the 5th exclusive could be the start of a range.
We have an item that we think is going to be quite exciting, and we're looking at it as a potential range. If the first one goes well and it comes out, I think it's one of the few ones where I would possibly put it to your listeners, who would you like to see next?
And on a subsequent episode, he said that the range could well be, well, I'll let him explain for himself.
It'd be interesting to know what people think. So one of the ideas we had was if you could buy an updated new version of every Doctor done to a much higher spec, released on a bi-monthly basis, so every 2 months, but you commit to spending 240 quid a year, knowing that they would get a high-spec Doctor every 2 months. So that was one of the things we were looking at. Are we going to do ball-jointed, multi-sectional new Doctors of every Doctor? No. What you might find is upgrades and changes to some of the original Doctors.
Arguably, the 3rd Doctor or even the 15th Doctor were the start of this range, since they're both Vortex editions as well. We just didn't know it was the start of a range. So we'll see what happens. Right, I don't think I can add anything more to the exclusive set side of things. I'm sure there'll be lovely surprises when they get announced. Certainly the Meep set caught me off guard, and I actually heard rumours about this coming out beforehand, and I didn't believe them. But here we are, look at it. Right, B&M. Well, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know the source is the head admin of the B&M Doctor Who action figure news and information array, who has contacts at B&M who allow him to reveal some details in the run-up to release to us hardcore fans. So what's been revealed so far is that we're getting 4 sets over 2 waves, much like last year. The first wave will be History of the Daleks set 21 and a TARDIS set. The second wave will be History of the Daleks set 20 and a Revenge of the Cybermen set. More recently, we got more information on product codes, number of packs per case, and pricing. It appears the Dalek sets will be $21.99 like last year, the TARDIS set will be $19.99, and the Revenge of the Cybermen set will be $24.99. Can we add some more meat to the bones of this information? I say that, well, it's obvious what one of the sets is, the Revenge of the Cybermen set. Similar to the Emperor Davros release last year in 2024, this will be a re-release of rare figures. The original Revenge of the Cybermen set, released back in late 2010 at Forbidden Planet, can go for a couple of £100 these days. So for those who missed out on this, I think we can be pretty sure that character have got you covered with a straightforward re-release later this year. The set will include a Cyber Leader and 2 Cybermen plus a Cybermat accessory. Will it be different from the original release? Will they add a Cyber Bomb or a Cyber Bomb control panel? I doubt it, as this is a budget line at B&M, and any new sculpting will probably be saved for some of the other sets, as I'll explain later. Otherwise, of course, the release will be in the new style branded packaging with the diamond logo, and the Cybermen may get a more accurate, slightly shinier paint job than the first time round. So next, let's look at the History of the Dalek sets together. I think I know what's in them, but I don't know which out of the 2 set numbers, 20 and 21, corresponds to which one, if you know what I mean. So one of them for sure is another Remembrance of the Daleks 2-pack featuring an Imperial Dalek and Special Weapons Dalek. Why am I so sure? Well, Al Dewar basically confirmed it himself on the Power of 3 podcast.
Joshua Duffy asks, will there be another History of the Daleks set for Remembrance of the Daleks with the Imperial and Special Weapons Daleks?
I can't answer that one.
Okay, we can move swiftly on then.
As for the second Dalek set, there's no direct source for this, but there's been a fair number of rumblings across social media and YouTube that this will be a Whittaker era or 13th Doctor era Dalek set. I'm going to run with it, and if it's wrong, you can mock me. Given the History of the Dalek set line is not released in broadcast order, this wouldn't be a huge shock. I guess most would have expected a Series 4 finale inspired set with a Dalek Supreme and Crucible Dalek, but this is a much more exciting prospect, as we can expect some new Dalek arm attachments in a Whittaker era Dalek set, as they had the claw arms in this period. Can we get one open one and a closed one? I really like either of the Daleks. Could we get some Executioner Daleks with the Gatling ray gun? Let's hope so. For the record, I'm demonstrating what could be in the set with my own customs of these Daleks. I haven't got an early set to review. The claw arms I got off Supreme's Customs, or Carl Howell. He's big on his Dalek customs, and he's your man for 3D printed Dalek parts. Recently, he's even completed a 3.75 inch scale Series 1 Emperor Dalek. Go and check him out on Insta. As for the Gatling ray gun, I got this a while ago off Robert Fusco, or at the time known as Custom Dalek Creations, and he has now sold this business onto Tom's Refurbishments. So I'd get in touch with Tom via his website or social media to see if he can print you one, if you're interested. Whilst it's more accurate, it will break more easily if you're not careful, so it may be simpler and easier to wait for the set. Operating under the more broad name Custom Sci-Fi Creations, Robert still does a lot of Dalek related dioramas and playsets, even quite a few from the Dalek movies, plus other dioramas. I've got the Ark in Space corridor off him, for example. He's recently completed Revenge of the Cybermen set pieces, and I'm about to put in an order for a Recovery 7 space capsule from the Ambassadors of Death. For more details, go and join his Facebook group where he updates on his projects and takes commissions. All the links will be in the video description as usual. Right, I got a little sidetracked there with custom figure stuff, as I usually do in most of life. There's still one more B&M set that I haven't elaborated on that's coming later this year, and that is the TARDIS set. Now, there's been a fair bit of chatter online that this will be the 15th Doctor's TARDIS. We have had two variations of the 15th Doctor and Ruby Sunday, online exclusive and retail versions, but we haven't had anything else. The next obvious thing would be to add a TARDIS. It would be a glaring omission without it, and for character, it is pretty much a straightforward re-release of the 13th Doctor's TARDIS, as the exterior is the same sculpt with a slightly different paint job. 13th Doctor TARDIS is now going for silly money on the secondary market, so a re-release would be welcome. As an extra bonus, the 15th Doctor's TARDIS could also go with 14, since they have exactly the same TARDIS, both the same exterior and interior design. So it might encourage fans to buy two of this set. At $19.99, it's cheaper than I'd expect. I certainly don't think this will come with a 15th Doctor figure, as that was a ground-up, newly tooled Gen 3 action figure that's being sold for over 20 quid by itself. Perhaps it will come with a new cardboard insert to represent the TARDIS interior. Let's hope so. Will it have lights and sounds? We'll have to see. Obviously, I hope it does. This intel could still be wrong, of course, in which case you can mock me later this year when we find out what they are. Obviously, it could be another Doctor's TARDIS, couldn't it? We still haven't had a 7th Doctor TARDIS set from B&M. The 8th Doctor has never had a TARDIS release, so does that require a lot of new sculpting to make it work? Are there rights issues given the American studio involvement? These may be stumbling blocks in the way. Perhaps that would be an online exclusive if it ever comes to fruition. The 9th, 10th Doctor TARDIS was the most produced version back in the glory days of the figure range, but 11 and 12's TARDISes are also quite rare now, so they could get re-released via B&M as well. That all said, I'll stick to the online rumours. There's no smoke without fire, as they say. Okie dokie, that's your lot. I've run out of Doctor Who action figure news, but you've got plenty to sink your teeth into there. As usual, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and go and give me a follow on X and Insta at the links shown on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.